So normally garden media doesn't really pick up on the fact that a lot of us don't actually have the space to grow from seed. So what I want to do today is take you through the garden centre and show you what you can get in February from your garden centre for your container gardens. So let's get straight into it. Today we're visiting Notcutts in Ashton in Manchester. We've been here before for houseplants, but today we're going to go out into the garden centre and see what they have on offer. I can tell by these beautiful displays that we are going to have a ball today. My first task today is to get through this houseplant section without anything accidentally falling into my basket. And oh child. No, just put it back. How beautiful is this syngonium? Stunning. These large leaf pothos were around about £20. It's not too bad. I finally made it out to the garden centre and it is enormous. So much choice. So down here we've got some veg. Now we've got some purple sprouting broccoli. Now these are early purple sprouting broccoli, and we've got some green and red cabbage. Now you can easily pick up a pack of these. They're £3.99. But the thing to remember with brassicas is if you're going to buy a pack of 6, as they get larger they're going to require an individual pot, and as they get even larger you're probably looking at 4 or 5 gallons per pot, so they're going to need some big containers, but they are a good find. Now we've also got some strawberries here, so we've got a pack of 6 for £10. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but individual plants are £2.49. As you can see, they are not the largest of plants. Strawberries are easy to grow from seed. I've done quite a few videos on strawberries, but strawberries do tend to take a little bit of time to germinate. You're talking around about 2 to 3 weeks. And if you grow them from seed, the likelihood is that they will not flower and fruit in their first year. So buying them from the store is a cheat code. However, if £9.99 is too much for you, have a look for bare root strawberries as well. Now we've got lots of individual pots here for £2.99. Chives, fennel, lavender, mint, and down the end we have some parsley. Such great quality as well. Now my herb tower is not looking the most beautiful that it ever has done, but you know, if I did want to, what I could do is I could pick up some of these and then keep them on my indoor kitchen garden. That way, if some of the plants out on my herb garden don't do too well, I can then move some of these from indoors to outdoors. I began to see this product in nurseries around about last year, and they seem to have expanded. These are called hairy pots, and the idea is that they have some plants in here. These are all herbs, and you can plant these directly into your containers or into the ground wherever you need to, and it's made of coco coir all around the sides, reducing the amount of plastic that we are bringing into our homes. Amazing idea. On my visit today, I met the lovely Nick, Kath and Sarah, who are part of the team here at Notcutts. Nick, the big boss, explained that Sarah has got the tough job of reorganizing this show garden for early spring. It's amazing seeing garden centres using show gardens as a way of teaching and educating their customers, as well as giving their staff the ability to showcase their creativity. It's just simply fantastic. I promise to come back and have a look at Sarah's work. And who knows, she may be the next person going to Chelsea. heading to a nursery during February can be a little bit disheartening because it's still so early in the season that the likelihood is that you're not going to see very many blooms. In fact, what you're probably most likely to see is some of the perennials have probably been chopped back and they are going to be starting to sprout some new growth. So let's take a look at some plants like that. So one lupin costs $16.99 and this currently is what it looks like. Now, it's going to be the same for quite a few perennials, but this is totally normal. I just had to go through this process on my own cloud garden, so make sure to check out that previous video. You may be put off buying one of these perennials now. However, I'd actually argue that buying one of these plants at this stage and then putting them into your container will probably work out a lot better. It will give the plant much needed time to settle into the conditions of your growing space. It's kind of a trust the process kind of thing. Now, if you're after a pop of colour in your garden already in February, let me show you a couple of plants that I would recommend picking up now. Well, it wouldn't be spring without hellebores. And just look at these stunning flowers. At first I thought I loved the white one, but this pink one is just stunning. Now you still have time to grow these anemones from corms, but if you were going to buy one, just look. Oof, this purple is beautiful. For those of you with a shady garden, these hookerum ferns would be a brilliant pick. It's way too early to buy foxgloves in bloom. However, I would recommend getting a multi-pack like this. You can then group some of these in containers in your garden. As I looked around, there was actually quite a bit of colour, more so than I would have thought for this time of year. Let me show you one of my favourite bedding packs. Pansies and violas are an absolute staple for container gardeners. They look awesome in window boxes, hanging baskets, along with these cyclamens. Just beautiful. If you'd like to see me create some window baskets or containers using some bedding packs, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to do a video on that. It's a big risk at the moment if you were to plant some spring bulbs now. They might not come through. So a great option would be to buy some now. And as you can see, I was completely lost with the variety of tulips that Notcutts has to offer. 2 or 3 different multi-packs of different coloured plants could really create some spectacular containers. Another classic spring bedding plant are these primroses. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of them. If you are, let me know in the comments. But what I will say is the variety here at Notcutts almost swayed my opinion. Almost. Now, I'm not really a fan of primula, however, these doubles, chef's kiss. Believe it or not, poppies are actually pretty expensive to buy individually. So if you were going to buy them, I'd probably advise getting them earlier on in the season. If you were to buy them later on when they're near to flowering, they'll probably be almost double the price. For us balcony gardeners, Alpines are a superb choice. They're super hardy and can deal with the harsh conditions of being so high. Now behind me we've got some carnations, which you probably didn't know were Alpines. I've got a ton of these on the cloud garden. They need a bit of deadheading, but I would certainly recommend investing in some. God, that's an understatement. I've got 8 or so plants that need a little bit of TLC. Now, dianthus are super cool. I, once again, would have these in window baskets and some containers as well. But my favourite springtime flower are eryssimums. They are just gorgeous. I love the different toned colours on the flowers. I would also recommend wallflowers. Now, my wallflowers on my garden are actually evergreen, so once they've stopped flowering, I've got really nice structure all the way through the year. Now is a great time to pick up some roses. Just like I mentioned before with the perennials, these guys are now producing their new roots, so by the time we put these in containers in our gardens, it will give them some time to really settle into those containers. The selection was great, and I even found some climbing roses. Now, these are nowhere near as tall as mine that go over my rose arches on my balcony, but I could imagine these producing some really great growth on the trellis, for example, throughout this summer. If you do have the space, there is plenty that you could start to sow in February, and Notcutts has got a great selection. Now, seeing such a huge seed library can seem pretty daunting, but don't worry, I've already got a video on what to sow in February, so I'm going to leave a link to that in the description box below. Well, I hope that that's given you some ideas of what to get if you head to your garden centre or your nursery in February. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to keep on track and know exactly what to get for your small space garden. Hopefully, I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye! Okay, OGs to the channel. You will probably be like, what on earth? Jason has left the nursery with nothing. So I may not have bought anything from there, but I have bought a couple of things from Wilko's. So if you want to see what I've bought, make sure that you are following, because I am going to be showing you how to plant some of these bare root plants that I picked up from Wilko's next week.